Hello all, welcome to openmentor.net. We are going to see more options on how to run multiple users using Neoload. What I'm going to do is I'm going to record a transaction, material request transaction in Internet Explorer. We have seen this recording already, but what we are going to do is using the thing called the containers. When you say home, I'm just giving some name. This is a logical name for my group of requests, okay, and the pages. So first I'm going to the home page. Then I'm going to say from this point onwards I'm going to do login. So I say admin. Then I log in. From this point onwards I'm going to say material request mr. I go to this material request. Then from here I say select the location, select the store, the contact name is James, phone is 123456778. Then I'm selecting the item code. It automatically populates the description. I'm typing the quantity as 10 and required before date is say 12th, and then say I add. Then it adds that new thing with a new ID 24. At this point of time I'm going to say log out. Okay, log out. I click log out. Then I stop. As usual, Neoload will look for a dynamic parameters. The dynamic parameters may take some time depending upon the length of your request. So once this is done, we will see the request logically grouped. Okay, now this is finished. Now we have got test 1, which previously we recorded. Under the actions in the previous script it was all under one actions. Now under material request, under actions, if you expand, look at here, it creates folders, are also known as containers. Home, once we type the container, whatever the request that we did after that, they were all going to that. Then all the login page will go to this particular container. All the material request will go to this one, right? And then the logout will go to this place. So this is easy for me to maintain and then understand what this particular script does. And always remember, whenever you make any script, make sure you check this virtual user. Once we do this, the request and response should come properly and the script should run. The data should get added to the application. So we recorded the material request. Let us see whether it is working fine. It is all saying it is valid. Now I go to the application. Let us see whether it has added another request into this one. Now I go to material request. Now if I go here, it says another James has been added to this one. So this is good. So now we are happy that it has added another material request over here. Now I log out. Once I log out, I come back to this particular script. Then I want to run multiple users. So how do I do multiple users? This is a very simple thing. For this you need to create something called population. Before that, it is better that you go through this particular script and then see what all the things you have to manually see it once, whether all the requests are going, whatever data that you have given is going correctly, right? So it goes to this one, it gets the item information, then it goes to this one, material request. So it has done this, it has passed all the details of this particular thing, and then there is a request.jsp, and then this material request, this is the form where we submitted the data. Now it is better to manually go through this and then understand, because it later helps you to do parameterization. I want to run multiple users for this particular script. To do that, go to the population. Population means group of users. I create population as material request users. Okay, you give a name. Then I click which virtual user I should use. This means which script I should use. Select this option. I say use this particular material request script. Then it says 100%. That means 100% of my users, whatever number of users I give, all the people will be used only for this particular script while running. That means if I define 5 users, all the 5 users will run the script. Later we will see how to distribute users across multiple scripts. Now we have defined a population. I want to run multiple users. Go to runtime. You go to runtime. In the runtime you could see this scenario. Then it is using this population. That means material request users will use the material request script. Now I am going to say by iteration. Choose the duration policy as by iteration. I am going to say number of users is going to be 5 and then number of iterations equal to 1. So I am saying 5 users will run this whole script and then come out of it. You will see a set of records getting added in a bulk to the application. Let us run this particular thing. Okay, you can use this arrow. Now I run this. It says no performance counters has been defined. Do you want to define? I say at this point of time I don't want to define. Click no. You can give a meaningful name of this this particular test run. Then it runs. So welcome to the world of load testing with multiple users. Now 5 users will start. All the 5 users will go to the home page, log in, hit the material request page, add the material request, and then come out. Now you could see 5 users are running. The hits are going to the system and the response time is also measured over here. This green line is the hit. The light pale brown green is the response time. So a lot of hits are going. Response time goes to almost 1.5 seconds in some cases. Now it is doing something into the system. Let it finish. Once it finishes, we will go to the system and then verify whether all these things have been added. Now if you go to these runtime users, you could see over here there are 5 users running actions, and then you could see the current action or the container being executed. Now all the users are coming to log out. The script will be finishing now. So if I go back to this runtime overview, the script will come to a halt any time from now. Users are exiting out of the logout. All the users are finished. So if you see here, it took almost 1 minute for the users, 5 users, to finish this particular home page, log in, add a material request, and then come out. Now it says 30 pages have been traversed, 85 hits have been done, then 5 users ran, then totally 0.27 MB has been transacted. Now it says there is no error. Let us go back to this application, log in, see whether these requests have been added. I go to this material request. Previously only 2 or 3 were there. Now if you see, I go to this next, additional 5 material requests have been added. So if you see, all are going with James with the same material description, and then previously there are only 2 or 3 material requests like that. Now if you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4 additional requests have been added. So this is very simple way of actually doing this particular load testing. Now to showcase, now there are 12 records added. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to the design, in the material request panel, in this particular thing, I'm going to give, instead of contact name as James, I'm going to give John. Okay, I change the parameter. Now what I'm going to do is I go to the runtime. Now I'm making is 10 users. So 10 users will log in, and then 10 users will fire the request. Right now there are 12 records. You will see additional records getting added when we finish this run. So each user will, with the iteration means each user will run once and then finish it off. Now I'm going to run 10 users. So when you want to run multiple users, you need to have license for those many users. please contact neotis.com for that licensing options. And then define a population, record the script, define the population, define the number of users and iteration, run. Then you will see so many transactions are being executed when the script finishes. But even after the script finishing, you need to go to this application, verify whether the records are getting added. That is very, very important. Now if you see, previously the response was almost 1.5 seconds. Now if you see, the response time was going up to 2.5 or 3 seconds because we have added more users. For 5 users the response time was a little bit less. For 10 users the response time increases. So this is the fundamental phenomenon in load testing. As the users increase, response time also increases. But the thing is whether the response time goes bad or is it within our tolerant limit. So that's how you need to do. The threshold should not be breached when it hits the pages. Now users are finishing. Okay. After some point of time, once all the users are out, we will go back to the system and then verify. If you want to see which user is running which transaction, now you could see from this one. So users are slowly exiting. Now the run has been finished. Now it shows this, right? Now let us go back to this application. Let us load this material request page once again. Now if you see, previously there were 12 records. Now 22 records were added. Previously there were only James. Now if I go to the second page, you could see John also. There were additional records with the name John has been added. Now there are totally 22 items because we ran 10 users now. So 10 users, each one did one transaction. So the number of records were up from 12 to 22. So this is the fundamental way of load testing. So all it needs is you have to have a proper licensing. If you want to run 1000 users, you can add 1000 users right over here. With this, we stop this session. Thanks for visiting openmentor.net.